Hello, welcome to another Cyclestorm video. Um, Here trying out some new tech, largely some innovations from Bryant. Basically the two new cards are the new Fetch and Otherworldly Gaze. I was not a super big fan of the Fetch in isolation, but I think with Gaze, if Gaze is good, it makes a lot of sense for reasons that will become readily apparent. I've played one league with Gaze so far, and I was pretty impressed. So let's see how we do in this one. Couple odds and ends in the board. Vision Charm is some Tyrube. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce their name. Tech, I believe that it's brilliant. All three modes can be used by our deck, and it means that we don't have to splash for artifact hate. Alrighty, gonna try and queue in and see how long that takes. Here for round one with a pretty risky hand. I am going to go for it because the upside is very high. We've got the reaping, we've got two draws. Let's go for it. All right, panned out, and this is the type of matchup that we need to high roll for anyway. So I'm not sad to have done this. They kept a risky keep as well that isn't panning out as well for them. Nice. All right. I'm gonna try to feel this out a little bit, see whether or not we think we can go for this. I'm gonna say because we've got our Street Wraith and they're tapped out, we're just gonna go for this turn 3. Now, because we have that Reaping on top and we already have a decent storm count, I'm not actually that interested in casting a Gaze right now. What I'd rather do is um, play a songs on the stack, Reaping, and cast Gaze after resolving our first cycle. Now here, I'm interested in playing out a healer, most likely, because that will enable us to keep using these street wraiths. Sweet. We had it for sure there. Um, Playing out the healer gives us basically the ability to draw our deck in this position. And we had one more songs in there, and we had petals as soon as we draw Scob, infinite mana basically, so they saw the writing on the wall. All right. Cards that are in contention. Are here. Let's give that a shot. We've got our ploy, our second ploy, rather, and we've got two vision charms um, to fight their relics slash accelerate us into an opening if we see it. Slightly awkward that we don't have the swamp to cycle the horror, but I think we're going to keep again because obviously everything else about the hand is pretty solid. Wish I had one more creature in place of this petal possibly, but I'm not going to complain too much. They're off to a better start than their previous game. Not terrible, actually. Assuming they don't drop a relic, we're in a decent position to try to combo on this turn. So the question is, do we maintain our one blue mana? And I think we're going to. I think we're going to just play out the songs off of this petal now, and that'll give us the mana here to cycle a couple times before playing our second songs. Now the question is here, are we going to just play a ploy for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 life? I don't think that that's going to be enough, so I think we need to go for it and just try to win. And in case it wasn't obvious, that's the reason that I went all in on this turn, is because they're probably going to beat us next turn if we don't go for it here. So here is where I can now ploy for a little bit more. And because it's unlikely we're going to win off that one draw, which we didn't. We were about to draw a healer. Or not for sure, but unlikely we were going to win there. We're just going to do that, and then we're going to play out the storefront and pass the turn at 15 and probably die. All right, not dead yet. No black mana. That was a punt. I somehow thought that I needed to get the blue, when in reality I should have gone black. Damn. All right, we don't know for sure. There's a chance that we could have won this game, but it would have been tight, um, regardless. All right, we'll run it back. So that was, I don't know why I grabbed that island. I think I thought that I already had a swamp for some reason, but given that I had played rituals, but I obviously just spaced and did that off the pedal. This hand just can't win. This hand is a lot better. All right, we're probably dead. We just don't have enough going on. We don't have enough colors. We'd have to draw into island and then charm, all the while losing a creature a turn. At least we're not losing a creature this turn. And we're dead. All right, so this deck is just so punishing, as per usual. Operator error in game 2, which is really a shame. Apologies for that, because we just don't know what would have been the outcome there. But definitely could see the power there with a turn 3 kill game 1. Let's try and pull it back together for the rest of the league. No lander, gonna have to mull. I'll keep this. Probably affinity, probabilistically, although it could be black red burn or, oh, okay, Mardu synth. This is a pretty good matchup for us. they can wreck our day with a random bog, but other than that, it's pretty easy because they don't really have a clock. They've got some DBC action, but I guess I'll keep the ritual, and then I'll gaze on upkeep. So that's always the question for me, is in a situation like that, should I have dumped that reaping? And I think a solid argument could go either way. Um, the trade-off is being one card deeper into the deck, i.e., into more cyclers, versus the obvious power of the specific card reaping the graves. But for now, we'll just play draw go. Usually they run like two bogs, so they can get you, but it's kind of random. So that's why I hate playing against bog, because it's one of the most punishing graveyard hate cards, but it's often a two of or a one of even in a lot of cases. To where when it's drawn, just feels really bad. Especially the naturally drawn bog into bounce land. So I'm gonna guess that they have more burn in hand because of the way that they played that Galv Blast so early. And I think we've got a pretty solid shot at winning here. Now that's a case where it gained us mana in a way that just cycling creatures never would. And it also built our storm count, which is one of the things that's pretty interesting about it. All right, kind of down to the wire here. I'm going to keep the ritual because if we don't draw, we can either play it out if we draw songs here, Or if we go for round 2 next turn, we will have a higher storm count. Now here, let's see, we can go, are we 1 mana short? That's really a shame. Yeah, we're 1 mana short. And I dumped all of our lands into the bin, so I did that for no reason too. I guess I gained a life. The trouble is now they probably have Bolt in hand that they're going to hold on to for our Scob, so it's unlikely that I'll be able to do too much trickery here. Now they're digging. So what I want is to draw a songs so that I can bait them with this Scob in a way that I won't lose if they hit it. Okay, well, maybe this means they're just trying to present as much of a clock as they possibly can. That was beautiful. Okay, we should win here. They should bolt this. There's no reason. All right. I guess all they can do to us is 4. So I probably can cycle Street Race. Could have made 1 more mana there. It just doesn't matter. I'm not sure if this list is running strands at the moment, but the good part about it is that they just can't pressure us up on enough axes. They probably have like 2 what am I trying to say? Okay. 2 relics, which I don't think I'm really going to board against. Um, maybe maybe I'll board respect it just a little bit and board 2 because of their extra utility. I think I'd rather do that than um, bring in Dispel to fight bolts. And we'll see whether they bring strands. If they bring strands, I could potentially bring Dispels and deprioritize Vision Charm. I think here we'll trim a Petal and a Horror. Seems reasonable. All right, so my no creature means a mulligan heuristic is slightly off with this new list, but like as in if there was an island here, I could potentially consider keeping. All that being said, I only would in this circumstance if I had a reaping, because right now I'm looking for reaping and a ton of creatures. If it's just one, it's a lot better than looking for 2 of those conditions. This is a lot better. So here we'll bottom a songs and be pretty happy. I'm getting used to playing with an upkeep stop because that just hasn't really been relevant for most of my previous decks, other than like playing cube or something. So here they've got the bog right from the start, which means we're going to try and watch out for bounce lands, basically. The good part about that is we'll see it coming a turn away. So if they want to do that play, they have to. This means they must be digging for land, right? Like, why would you? Okay, whatevs. So here, if they play out the bog, we have the option to bring back burn a reaping to bring back some creatures, which is potentially reasonable. What I could consider doing is playing Ritual and returning, then cycling Horror, and then bringing back the 3 creatures, which I think I'll do. Okay. Whatevs. All right. Here, I'm going to look for a land. So I could consider going for a scob line here, but I think I'm not going to. I think I'm going to make the assumption that they're not going to hit another bog right now, which maybe is wrong because they were, I forgot about Skyfisher Bog. All right. Yeah, that was maybe a hole in my logic. The thing that sucks about this is losing um, that songs with the scob in hand. It's totally possible to still win from this position. But yeah, the Skyfisher Bog, I forgot about that. What can I do about that? All right, let's go for a gaze here. Go like this. Play this out. And we'll pass here. Maybe I played slightly too aggressively, and I should have let them get that first bog when they really only had when they didn't really have much value, and I had creatures to keep cycling. They're digging. Okay, they're tapped out here. We've got a reaping on the top. So what I'm looking for here is songs. Oh, nope, not quite tapped out. So I'm going to draw once. Then gaze. Draw again. Now I'm going to gaze on upkeep. Now should I gaze again? I think so. And I think I'm going to go for this. Okay, that was pretty good. So I'm going to play these out. Going to go songs, scob, now, the question here is how to utilize this bit of blue mana. Got a lot of competing forces here. I would say I'm going to keep it. My storm count is already very high and built up from gaze. I'm not going to use gaze again because what I really need to do is to prioritize that blue mana for the scobs until I can no longer use it for that, or until I draw the Celebrant. Good part is I've got the ploy, so as soon as I've got the Celebrant, I've got a lot of colors, a lot of life to work with. Therefore, a lot of colored mana to work with. So I'm gonna just cast this kind of slow way, but I just really don't want to get pinched on mana. And the most they can do to us is 4. Okay, let me just check one thing. Reaping. And then exiled, we should have 2 reapings. So we should have 1 more in the deck. We should have this now. All right, I'm just gonna play this scob first, just to know for sure that we've got our songs back. Then I'm going to ploy. Then I'm going to ploy again. And that'll draw us into that'll get us a ton of life and get us towards our Celebrant. And we've got all the songs, the reaping, everything They're at 20 life. Easy peasy. Worked out pretty good there. I think that if they had one more way to bounce that bog, like another Skyfisher, we may have lost there, and that's a good takeaway from that match um, that I wasn't thinking about going in, which is that the Skyfisher is effectively bounce land 6 through 8, and important to bear in mind. All right, gonna pause. Back for round 3 in a minute. Oh, didn't have time to pause. All right, round 3 with a solid hand. Nothing special. We'll fetch for an island turn 1 and then a swamp turn 2. Unless something major changes our perspective. All right, this could mean good things if it's FAMs, or less good things. I could envision a Tron deck running a Tranquil Cove, but honestly, I think it's more likely that we're playing against FAMs, which is a really solid matchup. All right, probably not FAMs. I don't know, some sort of non-FAMs flicker deck. Maybe should have gotten an island there, but maybe not. If they're a counter deck, I want a handful of swamps in play. All right, that's a blast from the past. So, still not sure what this is. It's obviously not Gates. It could be FAMS that's just got a main board Lone Missionary, but because of the fact that we've got both Lone Missionary um, and Court Hussar, it makes me think that this is a little bit more rogue. All right, joke's on you. I considered, this might be Acid Trip. I considered getting that swamp, but instead of an island, potentially a mistake. I think they're on Acid Trip, which should mean that we're highly advantaged here. All right, I think I'll keep all of these. With the plan of keeping a songs in hand. They're just tapped out now. we've got a really solid shot at being able to kill, so I think I'm just gonna go for it here. So we can bring everything back here without casting the songs, which means that we can save it. This is interesting because it means that we can definitely hit that gaze. But of course, if I put it in the yard, we're closer to reaping, potentially, and this song makes one more mana. So I think everything in the balance, I'm going to just put it right to the yard. All right, the question is here, cycle 2 more cards. I think the upside is high enough. Okay. We're going to at least end this turn. Okay, we should have this. So now we can get reaping. Now we can cast songs. Now we can go for Scob. And now we can go for everything, including Celebrant. And we'll just bring everything back. And we'll play out the Celebrant. Play Gaze. Keep the rituals on top. Put the Gaze to the yard. And there's just no way we haven't got this. Cast the 2 rituals. Gaze to the yard, to the yard, to the top. Let's play this, play ploy. All right, we'll play out some guys now and just win. some songs. Play out pedal. Play out songs. We'll see. Based on the fact that they're playing a kind of odd and outdated deck, there's a solid chance that they don't know the intricacies of ours and may think that their high life total and our lack of cards is sufficient for them to win. I've been playing with my food a little bit too long. I gotta actually pick up the pace here. Particularly if we have to beat Strands in the following games. So until I see artifact-based hate, I don't think I'm going to bring the Vision Charm. I think I'm going to start by bringing in 2 Dispel, because that will fight both Strands and Counterspells, which they presumably have. I wouldn't be surprised if they've got Dispels and Counterspells. I think we could cut the ploy here, but I kind of like having it. So I think I'm gonna shave a gaze and a creature. Let's just see what they play. If they're on the hard, many copies of uh, yeah, I'm gonna bring in the second Scob because I think it is not very vulnerable, and the upside is high, and they could be bringing in Strands. So all that in the balance, second Scob seems good. I'll keep this. Um, more Lotus Petal than I really want at this stage in the game, but hopefully I can convert this Gaze into a swamp and then uh, creatures, basically. I mean, obviously I want to hit 3 creatures with it, but get me closer to a swamp and get off to the races. So, not the best, not the worst. Here, because I want that songs, I'll probably end up using the Wraith to get it and then casting Gaze on their end step. I could envision them running a DBC as well in this type of a list, a modernized um, acid trip list. What? That was a fail. I must have yielded until the end step when I when I just stated why it was relevant to not do that. Well, that was awkward. Funny thing is I was thinking to myself, don't they know it's an instant? Well, I had yielded to the end step, so who's laughing now? All right. If they go for an ephem here, I would consider dispelling it. Here, I just can't imagine what they could possibly do that would kill me here. I'm going to keep floating that reaping there. Okay. Cool. I can generate a lot of storm here, so I'm not concerned about using this for that. I'm going to go here, and then I'll keep both reapings. All right. Nine. All right, that's GG's. Sorry for the lack of commentary. I just was playing quick just in case I was going to fizzle. Um, I'll just play this now. That's good enough. Oh, I played that at the literal worst time. Oh no, never mind. Um, get back to songs. I'm gonna go like this, and now get back a healer, get back all the stuff, play out a healer, start cycling, then play out a stinger, blah, blah, blah. Just maintaining my rainbow color source just in case I need to use this dispel for something I haven't thought of. All right. Coming back from our initial bad start, but we did admittedly have two very good matchups in a row. So we'll see how we fare against something a little bit tougher, maybe. All right, here for round four. Let me make sure we're recording. Yep, looks like we're good. Very solid hand. This actually has, with the right draws, the potential for a turn 3 easily. We'll see whether that's a thing we want to try for. Ooh, again in the list of matchups that we want to see. This one's a little bit harder because we do have to fight through counters and strands, and they can present a quick clock if they get the if their basket lines up well for them. But generally speaking, this is a very solid matchup. Oh, okay. All right. I assumed we were versus Azorius Gates. We're against some other gates. I guess either Boros or Rakdos, or sorry, Boros or Mardu. But my guess is Boros. So this is an interesting decision point because in the olden days of Cyclestorm, I would have absolutely cycled this off the island. In this particular case, if our top couple of draws are like I would have gone straight to cycling island first and then cycling architects off the island because of restrictive mana costs. Here I think I'm actually going to cycle a Street Wraith first to see whether or not. See, now I want to go like this. And like that. All right. I think I am going to just go for this kill on this turn because I want to be able to utilize those Street Wraiths and I don't want them to untap and have access to a ton of bolts, which is basically what their deck is full of. Where now we just know we can cycle down to 2 life with impunity, which is going to be relevant for us to cycle multiple times through these wraiths. I'm going to use this gaze now because what I want is to get another. Um, oh, damn. That was a pretty big fail. I don't know if I mentioned that I'm not used to. This is going to be so awkward. Damn it. Well, that was a pretty epic fail. They get this one. I'm just going to shame scoop there. It's hard to say. Yeah, I think we would have had that win. Can't believe I did that. All right. Gotta just focus and get these next two. That was really a shame. I said in my deck tech that I would punt because of that card. So that is not the card's fault. That card probably got us the win there. And operator error screwed it up. So did not do it proud. I'm gonna ditch this pedal and hope to find my way toward an island. And here I go, just totally doubling down on my mistakes. I just misclicked there. I don't know what's wrong with me. At least they've mulliganed as well, and this is a solid 5. Okay. Don't really want to expose my celebrant to removal and then exile. So I'm just going to keep it in hand for now. I think I'm going to burn this pedal in service of gaze because they are presenting us with a clock here, and want to accelerate our position a little bit. That's really a shame. That's not what you hit. All right, bin that, and I think I've got to bin that as well. All right, if they don't kill our celebrant, I think we've got a solid chance at winning next turn. think I'm going to take it. God damn it. I just misclicked. All right. That was really bad, but that was totally misplays on my part that led to that. So I really can't blame the deck. Um, that first game I just won. I just didn't execute properly. The second game was a lot tighter, obviously. Um, but there was potential for me to win that game for sure. Um, yeah, I don't know what else to say. All right, looking for a little bit of redemption here. After just a very bad performance on my part in match four. Um, yeah, let's do it. Solid hand-ish. We're looking hard for a island. All right, Boggles is one of these ones that like I feel like it should be a good matchup, but they somehow get me a weird amount of the time. I do have triple darkness in the board. That was a really sweet rip. Um, so that's at least something. I think we're well set up for this game. If we can track down a reaping and a songs, we should be golden. Should I just put the upkeep stop on when I think I might want it, or should I keep it the way I have it? All right, I want to draw this card, so I'm going to go to my draw step. Now I'm going to play the gaze in my hand. I think I'm going to bin this ritual. Go like this. Maybe I should have kept the ritual because it would allow me to play the songs for a bit more mana, but then I'm one card deeper. Um, Sometimes I think that just being that one card deeper might just be good on balance. So they probably didn't have a mask last turn, or at the start of this turn, or they would have played it. We should be well set up for a clean turn 4 here. So the question is, do we go for a gaze here? And I think because we have an uncontested scob, we're not going to do that because we have the second reaping, and that means that we'll be able to get multiple rounds of this songs. If we draw into a petal, though, I could imagine playing out a gaze mid-combo if I think that I've got enough mana to still replay the scob, which is not necessarily the case here. Sorry for this being kind of tedious, but what can I do? This is the part where I just go and look for Celebrant. And this is why I I know that Bryant has been considering cutting Celebrant from the list and has done some work on it. And while I think he's got a point that Celebrant does win more by in some dimension, there is a value to being able to just very linearly combo hard and just go off and basically dump your deck in the yard and think about colors later. Or at least I really enjoy that that way of being able to play. So here we'll get the scob back. Now we'll go and play this ploy. And now we'll play this gaze. And now I think we can just put that in the yard. And I can play this. And I can go like this. Why not? I'll play one more of these. Go like this. And now I'll bring everything back. And I'll cycle one thing just so I can get that. Songs. Cast it. F6. Okay. So I'm terrible at talking while playing, but just to summarize what I was trying to say about Celebrant, obviously I way overkilled here, right? I've got 30 floating mana. Um, I could deal, you know, 100 couple, a hundred damage easily, which is just way overkill as far as this situation is concerned. But but you can also see how I may only have been able to get to that point by using all of my petals for blue to cast Scob, to cast Gaze, to cast that ploy, which then unlocked the ability to use that Celebrant for any number of colors of mana. Now, the thing about that is that, like, sure, as Bryant is saying, just play better, and I get his point is well made to an extent. The way though in which I disagree is that it just gives outs to people that, like, I don't want to give outs to them. I don't want to give people the out of bringing in Hydroblast to counter my Stinger and then running out of colored mana and not being able to kill them. I don't want to lose to Weather. I just don't want to lose to these strategies. I don't want to lose to somebody not understanding the mechanism of Scob and not bolting the Scob and saving their bolts for my pingers, but then that actually being the right play because I can only cast three pingers and they, you know, have sandbagged their snuff their and their echoing decay or something like that. So that's where I'm coming from. All right. I want my 3 darkness. What I don't want to do is I don't want to trim a bunch of creatures for the darknesses. I'm okay with skimming 1, but not too many. They do bring in relics typically, but I don't really respect 2 relics coming out of the board of a deck that has no real draw potential. They're asking for a lot to go their way for them to be able to present a sub turn 5 kill more or less with relic backup. And if they can do that, good on them. I'll hand it to them. I could consider bringing in the second Scob in this matchup as well, because they don't really have a good way of interacting with it. There's a slight chance that they're going to have the 2-mana spell that that fights or bites or whatever we're calling it these days. But I don't know. I don't think there's really a stock Boggles list now because it's really tier fun like us. And here you might think it makes sense to start cycling more aggressively, but as far as I'm concerned, thinning is more important in this stage of the game than being one card deeper at this moment. So, especially with their pretty bad start over there, those 2 life actually matter against this kind of onesie twosie situation that they've got going on. They don't have Mask. They may have um, the green-white aura, but even then, that's not really particularly good clock right now. I think if they had the ethereal armor, they would have played it last turn, so I don't think they have that in hand. But then again, that sequencing was odd too, because I just don't know. I just feel like they just don't have anything good in hand right now, based on the way they're playing. Or they could have mis-sequenced. That's possible too. We'll cast a gaze now. Wow, that was insane. Um, so I just don't think they have the kill this turn at all. Um, I think I'll just probably. Huh. I think they just top deck that. There's no way they wouldn't have played that last turn. All right. I think I'm going to cycle creatures here actually, because I think I want the storm count of the gaze next turn. All right, I'll play the one from hand on upkeep. Oh my God, that's so filthy. Okay, only 12 mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, this is kind of wild, but I think it's the right play. All right. 3-2. Um, with both of the losses having um, some significant punt on my part related to the mechanic, related to having an upkeep stop. Now, that is obviously not the card's fault. That's totally my fault. The question for me is, should I, just on a personal level, be running the stop in that way or just adding it when I want it? Um, I don't know. I'll have to play this a little bit more to see what I think in the longer run, but so far I'm really impressed. I think that it felt like we had that the turn three versus red, which we needed, and then we had a fighting chance in the rest of that match, which is not always the case. Sometimes we just feel like we're gonna get steamrolled by them, which wasn't the case in that match. Then versus that Gates deck, just really bad play on my part. But what can I do? I'm learning, like all of us are. Hope somebody enjoyed this, and we'll see. Maybe I'll find the time to record again at some point.